I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be being patient versus going for it when it comes to creating attraction and ultimately seducing the women that you want to seduce. Got an email here from a viewer, and he says, "Hey Coach, how's it going? I've been reading your book and applying the material you teach, and I'm still watching your videos on YouTube. Please keep up the great work. I'll do my best." He says, "I just wanted to get your opinion regarding persistence versus patience. This is not really pertaining to me. I just want to know what you think." Well, obviously it's pertaining to you because you took time to write an email. It's just these little ways that people go about bullshitting themselves, but it's obviously something that you got a question about. So he says, "There are some guys out there who contact women more than what you say is necessary to build attraction. They are persistent in their pursuit of women, not really masking their feelings for them, and not really being very mysterious either. Understanding how effective your advice and methods are, do you believe that a guy who is very persistent in his pursuit of a woman can be just as successful with them as a guy who is patient and mysterious?" So it sounds like what you're basically asking me is, hey Corey, is it okay to chase a girl and blow up her phone and act like a stalker and be persistent like they teach in all the movies and the TV shows that I've been watching that shows that this is what you got to do to get the girl you want? Well, you can try that approach, but it won't work very well for you. Now here's the thing. Is like what I talk about in my book is I teach a very methodical step-by-step process to help you build your confidence, because if you're like I was when I was younger and I wasn't very good, there's just, you don't know what you don't know, and I was full of fear at that time, so just making eye contact with a woman was something that was terrifying for me. And so when I write a book or I put a video out there, I'm trying to think about the majority of the people that are going to be reading it. And so I figure, worst case, because if a guy, say, is in a much better situation emotionally than, say, I was, then a lot of things he's not necessarily going to have to go through or go through the steps of learning because he simply already knows certain things. But one thing that's a common theme with guys who are working in this area of their life is they're impatient as hell. And when they think they're being patient, they're actually being incredibly impatient. And the simple scientific fact of the matter is that women are simply more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a cold fish and you're never going to tell a woman how you feel about her, what you like about her, where she stands with you. But if you are learning this stuff and you are here, it's like people come to my work not because everything's going great in their life, but because they're having some challenges. And so the idea is, by following what I teach in my book or in my videos or in the articles, is to help you learn your own center, learn to have some emotional self-control, to be patient, especially when it comes to women. Because at the end of the day, when you meet a girl on a scale of 1 to 10, you're either a 5 or better, meaning you got a chance, or you're a 4 or lower. And if you're a 4 or lower, you got no chance at all. And so when you start interacting with a girl, attraction is not a choice. You either make her minimum standards or you don't. And if you meet the minimum standards, so to speak, by doing things right, you can cause her to fall in love with you slowly over time by doing the right things. But when you try to rush things or force things along artificially, that's when the woman starts to feel like things are being forced artificially, and that you're not just letting things naturally flow and happen like they're supposed to happen in a love story. And so, especially when it comes to women, less really is more, especially if you're watching this video, or you're reading my book, or you're applying the things that I talk about. Most of the guys that I meet are just incredibly impatient, and their own impatience in doing and saying things that get in the way of the seduction process is actually what inhibits it. Because you can meet a girl, you can go out and you can lock eye contact with her in a grocery store and just have an amazing connection and talk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just feel like you've known this person your whole life, and you say, hey, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but obviously I got to run. But I definitely would like to get together with you and have a drink sometime. When are you free? And so you set a date, and then maybe you meet later that night, or maybe you agree to meet the next day, but it's a definite date right then and there on the spot. and you talked 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. And so the whole time in between you showing up for the date to meet her out for a drink, maybe the next day, 24 hours later, you already got the plans, are already taken care of. All you have to do is just show up and have a good time, and that's all she has to do. Now, if she has a really high level of attraction for you, she's going to keep the date and show up. She might even text you just to make sure you're still on, but more than likely, if she's got a lot of confidence, she'll just meet you at the bar or the restaurant, wherever it is that you've agreed to meet ahead of time. And so when you sit there and you start hanging out, and you're really into this girl, and you can tell the way she's giving you fuck me eyes, and she starts touching you right away. I mean, you can be making out literally in a matter of seconds, and even in a matter of minutes, under an hour, you could be taking her back to your place. You could be going back to her place, just simply by acknowledging. Because the idea is, by applying the stuff that I teach, you start to see the things I talk about. You start to see that it actually happens in women, so you can recognize the difference between women you really got a shot with and ones that you don't, or who are kind of lukewarm, and you know when to make a move. And so when a woman's giving you all the signs that she's into you physically, emotionally, spiritually, and there's just a connection there, you just go for it and move her right along. And when you've done it enough times, you know how long it takes to basically go from sitting there having a drink, basically from the bar stool to the bedroom, so to speak. Some women it's going to happen quicker than others based upon how into you they are. But the idea is, by following the stuff that I teach and being patient, and you hang back enough, you realize that women start reaching out to you and they start chasing you and pursuing you. And if you want to have an effortless personal life, an effortless social life, that's the best way to go about it. Because if you can set a woman, when you meet a girl, you start dating her, from the moment you meet her, she's pursuing you, she's chasing you, she's initiating things. That's the best place to keep her, because then that way she's always reaching out to you. She's always chasing you. She's always pursuing you. She's used to doing that from the moment you meet. And so therefore, current events form future trends. And so if you just do the right things, she'll continue to do that. And if you got a girl that's chasing you, constantly calling you, blowing up your phone, texting you, I miss you, I can't wait to see you again, that kind of shit, it's really easy just to make the next date to get together to create a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen. So it really depends on your level of where you're at. I mean, because if you see a girl and you really like her, you can walk right up to her and just say, you're amazing, I want you, I love your eyes, I love your lips, I love your body, you have a gorgeous figure, a fucking unbelievable figure, amazing figure, your body's just unbelievable, whatever it is that you say. I mean, these are all, you're intoxicating to look at. These are all things that I've said to women in the past that I've dated, or I've been in relationships with, like the first time I met them, and I just say what's on my mind. But that scares the shit out of most guys, because they freak out. I mean, just making, if I'm talking to a guy that's just, it's terrifying just to make eye contact with them. Imagine trying to get a guy like that to walk up to a girl, have the confidence just to go, oh, you're amazing, I want you. He'll be totally full of fear, and he won't be able to pull it off just because it won't be in his body language or his physiology. So he has to work up to that. But really, if you've got the guts to pull it off, fucking go for it. If you don't have any fear in your body language or physiology, you'll be absolutely astounded at how quickly you can meet a girl, and literally within a matter of minutes or a few short hours, you could be either back at her place or your place having sex. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But like I talk about in my book, is like once you learn to recognize those skills, it's almost as if you're like a hunter and you're waiting for the right moment to make a move and seduce your goddess and seduce your lady, and you do everything you can to facilitate her being unsure of yourself. And it's not about not telling her how you feel about her, it's just being unexpected. I haven't heard from him, he hasn't called me. Because most guys call and they chase and they pursue too much, and when she hasn't heard from you, when you just got together and you had great crazy sex last night, and like 2 days have gone by and you haven't called to say you had a great time and this or that, that's when she starts to worry and wonder. And you may just be busy because you don't have any other time during the week to get together, and you're thinking about her too, but you figure I'll call her in a couple of days when I figure out what my schedule's going to be like this weekend or next week, whatever it happens to be. And then 3 days go by, and she doesn't want to wait any longer because she starts to become a little fearful. I thought things were so great. We had such great sex. And then she'll reach out in the form of a text to kind of feel you out. And so then you just say, hey, great to hear from you. I was thinking about you too. We got to get together when you free. And you just arrange the next date. And we think about that. When a woman does that and you get her in the habit of that from the very moment you meet her, it's pretty easy. You'll never get rejected when a girl's always chasing you, wondering where she stands with you. That pushes her buttons emotionally, and that's a scientific fact. That's what women are more attracted to. So everything you do and everything you say in an interaction with a woman should be facilitating mystery and helping her, give her space so she can just sit around and wonder about you. Even though you may have a date set up tomorrow or 2 or 3 days in the future, she's going to sit and wonder about you. And by following the things that I teach, it facilitates that. So it makes it a lot easier. So work smarter, not harder. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device already, on the right-hand side of the download page is a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app and complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website right now, and on the will be a toolbar which will be at the bottom of your screen on any page. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. I will